Um, this is a continuation of the talk I was doing on planned obsolescence and its relationship to capitalism. So basically, my mom's old washing machine lasted 25 years, and my brand new Kenmore dryer lasted 4 years. My mom's washing machine was repairable, my dryer was replaceable. TVs in the 50s and 60s were repairable. TVs today uh, are not repairable. When some glitch happens, it's time for a new TV. Uh, I found this out a few years ago when I bought a high end Sony TV for like 72 inch back 12 years ago for Christmas for my wife, and uh, about 4 months later, it quit working. So I took it into Best Buy where I bought it, and they told me it was not repairable. They didn't check it. They just said we don't repair them, and there's nobody around here that does. So we recommend buying a new television, which is what I did. Bought one that was cheaper, and I think it might actually still be working. Anyway, planned obsolescence generates business for manufacturers and box stores that sell manufactured products. Um, Without it, if we made everything perfect, then everybody'd still be using their grandparents' um, drills and washers and televisions and radios and fans, etc. And the manufacturers of these products would get great reviews and go broke, and the people that worked in their factories would have to find new jobs. Uh, so, planned obsolescence uh, stimulates consumerism, and consumerism stimulates the economy in a capitalist system. Uh, I think about it in the terms of medicine, as I'm sure most know, I'm a physician. If if you go to see your doctor, you have some kind of a problem, and he diagnoses it rapidly and correctly and treats it uh, to the point that it's cured, no longer have the problem, uh, well, you think that's great. He's a great doc, and you tell all your friends about him, and you don't go back to see him because you're basically well. Whereas if your doc prescribes a medication that alleviates, or a treatment that alleviates the symptoms, but doesn't cure the underlying problem, well, you still think he's a great doctor, but you have to keep going back and having more testing done and having your medications re-prescribed. So a doctor that cures all of his patients goes out of business because his patients think he's great or she's great, but they don't need him anymore or her anymore. So in a system that promotes consumerism, doctors that cure you don't do as well financially as doctors that alleviate your symptoms without actually curing your underlying condition. The concept of an hourly wage, working for an hourly wage, is just accepted by everyone. I mean, we have a minimum wage, and then as you graduate within whatever profession or service you're working, your hourly wage goes up. And so the more hours you work, the more money you make. Everybody accepts this as a logical way to do business. Worked for centuries for some. But if you do a better job and are more efficient, then you get done sooner, quicker. And now, instead of getting everything you needed to get done in 40 hours a week, you get it done in 20 hours a week. That seems like great, except for the fact that you only get paid for 20 hours a week, so you get punished for doing a better job. A system that pays their workers based on productivity or the accomplishment of a certain amount of work and rather than pays them on the basis of how many hours it took them to do that work, means that people have to work more hours to get the same paycheck or to get more money. In modern society, we could certainly cut back on the amount of hours that people work and get the same amount of productivity out of them. And instead of paying them based on the amount of hours they put in, we could pay people on the amount of work they got done. And if they could get done in 10 hours, what it used to take 40 hours to accomplish, we'd get the same productivity, and the worker, the employee, would have an extra 30 hours a week to pursue other endeavors, maybe studying, going back to college, writing the great American novel, making a podcast, or just playing golf or goofing off or going to the gym or whatever. We'd have the same amount of productivity, but the workers would have a more satisfying life. A good way to initiate this kind of idea or implement it in society would be by generating a universal basic income, meaning everybody in the tribe, and our tribe would be American citizens, would be given a basic amount of money. I think $1,500 a month would be a good start, but that could be determined by people wiser than I am concerning economics. But just give everybody in the tribe enough money so that they could meet their basic needs, food and shelter. And then, if they chose to, they could get a job outside or beyond that basic income, and work their way up and make more money by being more productive. That way you would accomplish the capitalistic goal of increasing productivity and accomplish the, I'll call it, socialistic goal of meeting the needs of all of the members of society. This would generate a massive redistribution of wealth. I have fleshed this idea out in a previous podcast, or Tom Talk, and see no reason why it couldn't be accomplished simply by taxing the rich, which would then be sharing the wealth. We have to assume that the wealthy, there is a saying that all great fortunes are based upon some crime. There probably is some truth to that. In many cases, it certainly is. The Seagrams and the Kennedys were rum runners during Prohibition, and that laid the foundation for their great wealth. The large landowners in the South are the descendants of the plantation owners that built their wealth upon the shoulders of slaves. But anyway, even if you did it perfectly above the board and honestly and made a great deal of money, you did it within a society that allowed you to do that. And you are a member of that society. And the other members of that society deserve to share in your good fortune, just as the example used in a previous talk, a hunter in a tribal society in pre-civilized Earth might kill an elk, but that wasn't his elk. He might get a big chunk of backstrap from that elk, but that elk belonged to the tribe. And both the hunter understood that and the tribe understood it. Well, good hunters got more backstrap, but everybody got some elk meat, all of the members of the tribe. This system, the system that I just described, allows for people to excel, people to work as hard as they can and be very productive and accumulate a great deal of wealth, but it doesn't leave anybody out. We're all members of the same tribe. This concept could be extended to all of humanity, but I don't think that's reasonable. It's reasonable to expect that to happen anytime within the next century or two. So it must start at a more local level, and it seems to me a good local level would be within sovereign nations. I think knowing where you're trying to go will help you get there a lot faster than randomly wandering around and hope that you arrive at the proper destination. So if we're looking to create a equitable society, we need to envision what that equitable society looks like and then take the necessary steps in the direction indicated by the knowledge of our final knowledge of our goal, which is arriving at that destination. So, an important idea that might help us all, to be continued.